All good. Yeah. Welcome back to the 11th edition of Extreme Barcelona here at the gorgeous and legendary Parc del Fòrum. And next up, we're going to have Action Space Mega Ramp World Series. Best trick in BMX. It's going to be an epic show. And it's the first time at Extreme Barcelona. There's going to be a 12-meter long jump. And there will be a huge run-up comparable to a 5-floor building high. Let's see if we're going to have some world's first tricks coming up today. And I'm not hosting this event alone. I'm very happy to say that joining me is Daryl now. Daryl is an epic BMX rider, a lifetime rider from Brooklyn, New York himself. And Daryl has been hosting the most renowned BMX events all over the world, including the Tokyo Olympics in 2020. Daryl, welcome. So happy to have you here with us.
Thank you, Julie. The honor is actually all mine because it's so great to be a part of Extreme Barcelona. The world has gotten back together right here in the iconic seafront where we have all of our riders, tons of competition, skateboard, scootering, but my favorite, BMX. And to be here for the Action Space Mega Ramp and having fun with all of our riders throwing down and with you, it's an honor to be here, Julie.
This is definitely going to be a very fun event, and there's going to be 5 riders competing, and there's going to be only one winner. All the riders are going to have 4 runs, 1 winner, best trick counts, and the prize pool is a whooping €7,500. So, I don't know, who do you think is going to take the win if you saw the riders list?
Well, so it's interesting that you say that, right? This is our first time doing the event. You can actually see a bird's eye view looking down at our massive roll-in. As you said, 5-story roll-in. That's close to being around 60 feet dropping in to a huge gap, 12 meters or 40 feet. And our riders are going to basically have to send it over this gap. So the format's going to be 4 runs out on the course. Best run is going to count. And whatever rider does the tricks, pull it throughout and kind of wow our judges and the crowd, they're going to get the biggest chunk. Actually, I'm going to say all of the chunk of that cash. 7,500 euros, big purse for the riders out there, but it's going to come down to basically whoever can huck it and send it.
So, Daryl, I just got a note from the judges because there were some changes in the lineup in very last minute. So they actually just right this minute changed the competition format, and we're looking at 3 rounds instead of 4 rounds. But still, the best trick counts.
Yeah, so, okay, that's interesting, right? So we got our 3 judges, Jesus Puentes, Javier Ortega, and Axel Jurgens. They're going to basically be making sense of the madness that we're about to witness out here. But we do have our 5 riders, and our first one is going to be Ash Finley from the UK.
Absolutely. I mean, these guys are known for pulling some big tricks. Now we're looking at Romat Salik from Estonia. This is an all-around rider, also doing great in scooter. Next up, we have Maxime Jalifour. We just saw Maxime compete in the park finals as well, pulling some pretty big, epic, big tricks. Next, we go to Jeffrey Whaley. Jeffrey's from Quebec, Canada, and also pretty well known for all the big stuff. Will Barlow. Will is actually also doing Nitro Circus, so he's no stranger to any big tricks, Daryl.
Yeah, you can see Will's energy. I mean, he is here to just bring the party. It's so great that we do have this event going on, even though the Action Space Mega Ramp World's Best BMX Trick Contest is the first time we're ever doing this at Extreme Barcelona. Our fans are just having the best time here. As I mentioned, we're in the iconic waterfront where you've seen in all the BMX videos those big, massive banks that are made out of certain tiles, and we have the riders having a great time in between rounds, not only in the park course, on the street course, and also on our Action Space Mega Ramp. They're riding those banks, so they're in a good mood. It's a party vibe, and I think that that's what's going to translate essentially at our event here, and see who can kind of bring that energy, feed off the crowd, and just send a trick across our Action Space Mega Ramp gap.
Absolutely. I'm very excited for this. And I mean, it is the first time this is happening here. So let's see what these guys come up with.
Yeah, so essentially you got one, you drop in, there's one hit, right? You roll in down the massive roll in. Again, we said it's around 50, 60 feet tall. You drop down this extremely steep hill, and then you wind up jumping across this chasm 40 feet. You got to get your trick done and then stick it clean with both wheels to ride away. Three runs each, and the best score is going to count. So it's as straightforward as we get. And I know that even just, Thule, for you and I, it's going to be a great time to cheer the riders on and really see what it is that they brought out here to the Extreme Barcelona.
So we're going to start with a warm-up because, I mean, this is a pretty big competition and there's no room for mistakes. So the guys will have a short warm-up round.
Yeah, and it's important to have that where you could feel out a ramp, right? So this one hit, it's not like, oh, you could drop into a contest where you have 60 seconds on the clock and you could kind of warm things up. You do have 3 hits out there. You really want to make it count and have it feel right. That roll-in is also enormous. If you've never rolled in down something like this, it's steep even without a jump at the end. If this was on the streets and it was a big bank, it would be like, hey, can we roll down that? You'd kind of be, gritting your teeth as you did drop down. Even though the riders are going to be consistently rolling in it, it is extremely steep, and they will be reaching speeds 35, 40 miles an hour at the bottom going off over that hit.
I mean, I don't know about you, but this looks very scary.
Yeah, there you go. Getting a warm-up run right there. Doing the big flip across. That's Ash Finley. You can see that landing, too, is actually inflated. It's a inflated landing, which the riders are going to have a little bit of padding if something goes wrong. But there's a little controversy as well, because some say it's almost more difficult to actually land straight on an inflated landing and roll away. Because if you're a little bit off to the side, your wheels can catch. So you got to be dialed across the chasm.
Absolutely. And I mean, I'm going to be very biased here because Romet is also from Estonia, so am I. So I am the biggest fan here, rooting for him. And he is also an all-round rider. He does scooter, he does BMX, like you name it, and he aces pretty much every sport that he touches.
Seeing a big lofty flip across the channel. And again, that landing is inflated. You also see our riders giving a shoulder check into that wall to slow down. Some of our guys don't have any brakes on their bikes. It is a padded wall. They're not hitting into a brick wall at the end. So don't worry. They know how to stop. They give it a quick little shoulder check.
Absolutely. So this is still a warm-up round. Let's see what the guys will actually pull up in the actual rounds.
Yeah, and as mentioned, this is an inflatable padded landing. That's been kind of a new feature in the last few years when it comes to any type of large ramp or shows. Right now we're seeing Will Barlow getting ready to roll in for his test.
And as I said, he is a Nitro Circus rider. So, I mean, he's known for some big tricks and, like, in general, some great stunts.
Yeah, and the thing that's a little different about this ramp, the Action Space Mega Ramp, there is a nice steep kicker on this. Sometimes a larger ramp can have a mellower takeoff where it doesn't give the riders as much hang time. And it seems like there's a kind of sweet spot with their Action Space Mega Ramp where riders are still able to get that nice lofty pop, giving them a lot of time to get the tricks. And they have that 40-foot gap to clear and get it done in time.
So there you go. Warming up, trying out their speed, their height. I mean, I don't know about you, Daryl. You definitely have seen these kinds of competitions before. I have not, and I'm scared. I'm thrilled, but I'm also a bit scared.
Well, so even though there have been large ramp events before, this is a little different because it's a winner-take-all cash grab, right? So whoever goes out and really pushes it, 7,500 euros that are on the line. That's pretty amazing. That's a great purse, right? You can go out, you have 3 runs to potentially get it done. And for any of our U.S. riders watching along, that's about $9,000 U.S. or just over a little bit, 11,000 Canadian. So we're not talking about a small purse here, and our riders are going to definitely want to step things up.
So who do you think are like the top guys here, or is it like can be full of surprises?
You know, I really think it could potentially be anyone's game. It's going to be whoever is kind of fired up from the crowd wanting to pull the trick. But I do have a feeling that Will Barlow is going to bring that energy. You can tell he's been having a great time out here in Barcelona. And as you mentioned, he does ride at times with the Nitro Circus guys. So the fact that he's used to bringing the energy in this kind of environment, it's a really special thing to see. So I'm hoping that Will Barlow pulls out a couple big bangers in his tricks. But also, Ash Finley is so comfortable when it comes to big hits, too. So, you know, I know that you're cheering on your Estonian boy, Remut, and you want to see him take it. But at the same time, it really could be anyone's game. And I know you're like, hey, Daryl, give me an answer. I want to know who to put my money on. But, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. And once we get through one round of jumps, we'll kind of know where everyone's headspace is at, right? Are they bringing new tricks? Are they just saying, hey, I want to get kind of through this and feel it out, maybe in their final run? So we're going to kind of see the strategy once our riders take the course.
And Daryl, we are almost ready to start. We're going to go for the first rider. For the first ever Extreme Barcelona Action Space Mega Ramp Best Trick Contest. Looks like they're still going through some details there.
Yeah, it looks like, so right now what's happening, they're just in staging. You can see our riders actually talking to our event coordinators. They're getting to position. There's always a lot of nerves before an event. You can see right there, getting the pound and getting ready.
Looks like Romet Salik is the first one dropping in, representing Estonia. He literally just came from the Scooter Park finals, and he did really well there as well. And I mean, as I said, like this guy just flies around this whole Extreme Barcelona competition throughout the whole weekend. Go Romek, go Estonia. There you go.
Not only does he have your support, but he's got the crowd support dropping in. Let's see. Yes. Big start right there. That's how you get it done across the chasm, throwing down. So let's take a look right here. As you can see, rolling in a lot of speed, spinning around off axis right there, going for that 1080, kind of off in his own spin, a little bit sideways, somewhere between that 360 flip with the 720. Really great spin, great move right there, getting one done for Estonia.
Next one dropping in is Ash Finley from UK, and Ash is a very strong rider, and he was also doing great in the park finals just a short while ago. Let's see what he pulls off.
Drop it in, lots of momentum.
Whoa.
Big double backflip, sticking it clean.
Look at him celebrating. Yeah, go Ash.
Woo! Yeah, it's got to be a great feeling. Like we said, a lot of nerves. You're getting into this Huck Fest coming off 1, 2, spot the landing super clean right there. And you saw that he was able to actually use that airbag landing to his advantage, just spot the landing and come on in.
Absolutely. Next up, 21-year-old Canadian Maxime Chalifour. Maxime is also a park and the dirt guy, so, I mean, he's also no stranger to big jumps.
All right, Maxime coming in. Nice extension right there, taking the arms all the way off, just letting that wingspan go completely upside down. Yeah, not only is he a well-rounded rider, but as we mentioned earlier, he does ride in the Cirque du Soleil, so he's used to this show format where he's got to put the pressure to himself. And actually, excuse me right there, he threw a bar spin in first on that backflip and then the no-hander, increasing the difficulty. Very hard to do, getting the bars around in time to extend the arms.
And next up, another Canadian, Jeffrey Wheely, 24-year-old rider from Quebec, Canada. And he's always pushing limits in all aspects of the sports. Let's see what he does here today. Oh my God. Whoa, Daryl.
Yeah, going around right there. Backflip. I believe that was a double tail whip, but a little hard to see from this perspective. Thankfully, we got our slow-mo to break it down, and we can actually count it out together. So let's see, Julie. He's going down the roll-in, upside down. Boom. I believe that was 2 times around. So much action going with that back wheel right there.
And now we go to Australia. Will Barlow dropping in.
Yeah, clean double flip right there. And then you see he flies off his bike into our action space stopping pad right there. So Will Barlow, the Australian right there. Let's take a look as he rolls in. Actually takes a pedal to go a little bit faster at the top and full commitment on that double backflip. So similar to Ash Finley, where he's getting that double loop around, but you see he spotted the landing and actually almost got around with ease because he was so comfortable on that second rotation.
Absolutely. We haven't seen the scores yet, so we need to wait for those for a little bit, but it's definitely a pretty tight competition. What do you think?
Yeah, I have a feeling our judges are going to have a difficult job out here. Again, as we said, we have Jesus Puentes, Javier Ortega, and Axel Jurgens, who are out here going to give the riders their, I'm not even going to say score, I'm going to say their cash, right? Because again, it's a winner-take-all event, 7,500 on the line. This is huge. Again, that's 9,000 US dollars, 11,000 Canadian. This is big. 7,500 euros. You want to get first place. I know Axel Jurgens is from the area. He actually has his own place for BMX and action sports called Eurocamp, which is just up the coast a little bit, as if you were to travel towards France. So he makes it down to Barcelona all the time, and I know he's so excited to have so many riders who travel out to his camp to be here and try to give them a score or who's going to walk away with the biggest chunk of cash.
Absolutely. Now Romet going in again, and Romet has a fan base, as I said before, from BMX and also from scooters, so he is definitely a crowd favorite right now. And I'm pretty sure he's also going to do the mega ramp in scooter later on.
Yeah, he's got the full pull this weekend, and as you said, he's got a lot of fans out there from Estonia as well. We've always seen him at another event that takes place in Europe, Simple Session, and it's great to see the Estonian out here representing. So It looks like right now we're taking a little pause talking to our riders. One thing I do want to mention, roll-in is so high as well. If there's any conditions for wind out there, it can definitely throw the riders off. Thankfully, we've got pretty good conditions today, but there is a slight breeze at times as well, and you want to make sure when you're dealing with that height and distance that you got the ideal opportune time to roll in when you don't have a gust or anything of that nature.
But Daryl, in general, we've been so lucky with weather in Barcelona, like absolutely beautiful over here.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the thing about Barcelona in general. It's a destination for BMX scooters and skateboard riders around the world. For the last 20 years, it's always a destination point. And if you ever get a chance to make it for Extreme Barcelona, I can't recommend it enough. The whole community of action sports comes together for a great time that goes way beyond our competition.
Absolutely. And you know, Daryl, in 2 weeks, we're going to go to Madrid with the same competition. So 8th and 9th of October.
Yeah, and if you have a chance to make it or you want to learn how to get there, just give us a follow on our Instagram at Urban World Series, where you can get all that info and a double backflip again from Ash Finley right there.
Small correction, Madrid is 9th and 10th of October, just in 2 weeks.
Well, you can get all that info concreted on our Instagram at Urban World Series and all the details. But right there, we're looking at the fine details of that double backflip from Ash Finley. Again, he got one of those done on his first run, so he might be attempting to step it up with the potential variation right there, but still very clean on that double flip.
Absolutely. Next up, Romet Salik.
Romet rolling in.
Whoa! What? Oh my God, Daryl!
All right, Estonia is in the house. That is how you do it.
That is how you do it.
Take a look right here. Going under the hood on this double front flip, fully committed over the handlebar and spotting the landing.
Daryl, I'm so happy right now. Yeah, Romek took the lead.
You
Go, Estonia.
That was a huge move. The double front flip, full commitment, big move. Bam! That's how you do it.
Epic. So also short, small correction in the sports format. The judges decided to still go for 4 runs. So we're still going to stick to the original comp format. But now, dropping in the Canadian, Maxime Chalifour.
So Chalifour getting his second run in. As we just heard, the judges updated it to 4, so our rider's going to have another chance to dance. It looks like that was a backflip double bar spin. You saw the way that Maxime threw the handlebars, caught them, and then threw them again for his second rotation, potentially looking for another variation, but he's going to have 2 more opportunities.
Next up, Jeffrey Whaley. His next run.
Here we go. Oh! Wow, Jeffrey hitting the eject button, tossing the bike off to the side. Thankfully, he seems okay. As we mentioned, that is an airbag landing, giving the rider some padding. It doesn't mean that you are impossible to get hurt out there by any means. It's difficult to land on that padding, but thankfully he's all right. And it looks like our next rider from
Look
Australia.
at the energy.
Yeah.
Look at that energy.
Will Barlow ready to get in the ring, Thule.
Absolutely. Bring it.
Here we go. Looking to throw a haymaker.
Whoa!
Great double flip right there. You saw the speed was slow motion.
Absolutely.
That's something you normally don't see going hand in hand with the double backflip because you got to be so committed on that second loop. But I do want to notice and note that he wound up doing his body extended on the one flip and then brought it in a little bit tighter. That was how he adjusted his speed right there. So he was able to stretch it out, slow it down, and then tighten back up. It's going to be interesting. Does he potentially throw a variation on the double flip? And also our rider, we're seeing Ash Finley right there. Does he potentially go for a variation of that double flip as well?
What an exciting competition. I mean, as I said, I've never seen anything like this before, and the crowd is going absolutely wild.
Yeah, Tuli, and this is interesting.
Yeah. Sorry?
Excuse me. This is interesting because the format here is the best run counts or best trick or best send, however we want to call it. There's going to be some strategy up to that last moment or last run because it is winner take all. There's not a podium. There's just who's going to get that 7,500 euros and cruise off into the Barcelona sunset with that cash.
Absolutely. And it's a very impressive prize pot. I mean, 7,500 euros. You can do a lot of things with that money. And Ash Finley representing UK dropping in next.
Here we go. Oh!
Whoa!
Wow, Ash right there. It looked like he potentially got stuck. And that's something that a rider doesn't want to do when your weight's in an awkward position. But let's look as Ash takes off. And you see he does the Superman, and his weight just got pitched too far forward over the bars. Thankfully, he was able to take use of that airbag inflated landing and bounce back to his feet.
Absolutely. But it's the best run counts, and he's had some pretty nice runs already, and the game is not lost yet. And Roman Salik, the current leader. What is he doing?
Come on. Are you kidding me? So
Yeah.
crazy to watch him spin right there. So this is such an interesting trick and combination. We're going to take a look. It's off axis, rotating around 3 different times. Take a look, and then spotting the landing. Now, this is a trick that can be called many different ways. One, I'm just going to call it awesome. But he's definitely doing those 3 rotations, right? 360, 720, 1080. But he's off axis and almost flipping. The way some riders do it, it's almost a 360 with the corked out 720. Some other guys are more vertical with it, and others actually almost do a 360 flip and then the last 360. So, interesting thing, 3 ways to call it.
Absolutely. Still waiting for the scores, but based on what you've seen so far, Daryl, who is currently the strongest in your opinion?
Well, right there, we got that backflip with the bar spin out of Maxime Chauffleur. But he went going through. That's a really difficult thing to call right now. You know, I did like that double front flip that we saw. That was amazing. That off-axis 1080 twister variation, really cool that we just witnessed. But those double flips were really smooth. I have a feeling this last round we're just going to see everyone put all their chips on the felt table and push them into the center and try to get that big pot. Yeah, you see right there, hyping the crowd up, just going so wild, giving the respect to the riders. And let's see if they can feed off that energy.
Woohoo! Oh no!
Oh no, indeed. Let's take a look at that back end. Kicking it around, going for that triple right there. Oh my gosh, not able to get that last spin of the frame around, getting stuck in the position, and then bouncing over the bars. Thankfully, the bike did not hit him, and he was able to bounce kind of out of the way. But I will say, potential first place for good vibes and energy is definitely Australia's Will Barlow.
Absolutely. I mean, this guy is enjoying it so much.
Yeah, getting that double backflip around again, really dialed. Taking a look. 1, 2, and you see the difference there. He didn't extend his body as he did on the other double flips. I have a feeling Will is going to potentially try something of variation there because he's really consistent with the double flip and looks so comfortable, which is even crazy to say in its own right. That's a really hard trick.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm pretty sure that the judges are having a very hard time scoring right now. So, next round. Ash dropping in again. Let's see. Last trick, right?
I believe this might be their last chance to dance. As we said, there's 4 runs that they're going to get. So this is potentially the moment that it all comes down to, right? Because his best run counts. The riders felt things out. They got a few runs down. And let's see if everybody steps it up for their 4th and final. Ash Finley, here we go. Ooh, lofting things out right there, getting that back end around, spotting the pedals, coming in clean on the landing. So let's take a look. Backflip with the tail whip, getting the feet back on. I believed he wanted another variation potentially off there. Still nicely done. And you could actually see on the landing how it's a little more difficult to land on the airbag because you do get that bounce.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see what Roman Salik will pull out of his bag. This kid is epic.
Romette coming down. A lot of speed.
Whoa! Oh no. I mean, I'm still cheering and clapping here like what a competition.
Let's take a look how many rotations around 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom. So trying to actually step things up and getting that spin around 1440 with the commitment to the landing. Not able to get it done, though, but let's not forget, he did have that double front flip, and he also had that other rotation spin in his third run.
Absolutely. Maxime Chalifour going for his final run.
All right, big backflip bar spin right there. Gonna have a look at the specifics. I love that we have these replays here where you could just see all the little details as he gets the full rotation around, and you saw him actually almost like playing the piano with his fingers right there, where he almost potentially wanted to do a different variation of that. But you're floating and flying 40 feet in the air. You really got to be confident in the trick that you're going to throw.
Absolutely. There's, interestingly, 2 Canadians in this competition format.
Yeah, both do ride in the Cirque du Soleil, which is one of the best circuses in the world. Top athletes who are the best at their craft. And let's see if we could have our Canadian represent here at our Action Space Mega Ramp. World's best trick, BMX.
Jeffrey Whaley.
Oh, man. So close right there. And that's what we talked about, the difficulty of that airbag landing. It actually pitched him over the bars. If that was a traditional wood landing or dirt, he probably would have rode away from that. But let's take a look. Man, trying to get it around all those tail whips, looking for the landing, trying to spot it, and then just pitching out over the bars. So that isn't going to count, unfortunately. All right, let's see if the Australian Will Barlow can tap into that crowd here at Barcelona, who is going absolutely nuts at our Action Space Mega Ramp. Let's go, Will. Yo, going around 2 times right there, sticking with the consistency of that double backflip.
So I'm just seeing the scores now, and we have Romat Salik in the lead with 83.33 points. Second, we have Will Barlow with 76.33. Third, we have Ash Finley with 75. Fourth, Maxime Chalifour with 69 points, and Jeffrey Whaley is currently fifth with 33.33 points.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, Cooley, that was our 4th run for our riders. And as we mentioned, this is a winner-take-all, 7,500 euros, which is massive.
Yes, and we do have a winner, and Daryl, I'm so happy. I am going to go and hug Romat now, my fellow Estonian. Epic win. I will be back with you in a couple of minutes.
Wow, big ups to Estonia right now. I know that the entire Simple Session family is standing tall and proud, along with the entire BMX and scooter family in Estonia. Rumet taking the first place, as we mentioned, 7,500 euros. That is a massive cash purse right there. You want to know and do the math, again, it's about 9,000 US dollars, a little over 11,000 Canadian. So that is a big chunk of change to be rolling home with. As we know, Barcelona is always the destination spot for all of our BMX riders, especially at Extreme Barcelona. Not only do we have one of the premier events for skateboard, scootering, and BMX, but it's an entire lifestyle. Breakdancing, graffiti, live shows, village of vendors, and most importantly, our fans of action sports. You can see right now we're just taking a look at a small fraction of our crowd who has come out after a wild year and a half, and it's so great to be here for our Action Space Mega Ramp World's Best Trick BMX. But when all was said and done, one rider was on top. That is our Estonian Rumet Salik, who wound up getting top honors and the biggest chunk well, I'm going to say all of the cash, 7,500 euros to be exact. He's going to have one heck of a time out there celebrating in our Extreme Barcelona village with all of our fans. And also, I know he's having a great time in the city of Barcelona. It's always the destination for riders. I'm sure probably tomorrow he might even go out to Club Apollo. They have their legendary Nasty Mondays night. I say that because BMX riders for the last decade have always made that a destination as well. Taking a look right here, all of our fans having such a great time at Extreme Barcelona. This is on the iconic waterfront where they have the seawalls. Now, if you've never been to Barcelona, this is actually in the city, and it's the part that you always mark on your map because you've seen for the last decade these big, huge quarter pipes that are made out of these tiles all neatly placed together, and they're about 20-foot tall wall rides, and that's actually exactly where we are. So you've seen over the years riders recently like Kieran Riley do a flare on them. You've seen Transition, Ripper, Corey Walsh wind up airing so high out, or other riders doing big carves. It's always been the tour spot destination. So the fact that we're on the seafront here and we do have our Extreme Barcelona event, it's such a special thing. There's energy, and in between the events, the riders are going out and hitting the quarter pipes as well. But I do want to give a big shout out to all of our fans around the world that have been following the action and adventure. If you're not following us on Instagram, you can do so. It's just at Urban World Series. And I say so because we have so many events coming up, specifically in Madrid. We have our Urban Sports October 8th through 10th. So you could start planning your trip on how to go there. Not to mention, every year we do have our Extreme Barcelona event. You know this as the 11th edition, and next year we are going to continue building to bring together the BMX family. Let's take a look right here at a few of the many highlights in our Action Space Mega Ramp World's Best BMX Trick. Rocking down the roll-in, there is that wild style spin going around. Unfortunately, not able to stick that, but putting the two big fists up in the air. Flexing big was the Estonian Rumet Salik, who is our winner. Taking a look at a nice lofty backflip right there from the Canadian Maxime Chalifour. Let's take a look here. Backflip tail going around 3 times, getting Buck City over the bars. Here's a look at the Australian, bringing the flavor and the energy. Will Barlow, big double backflip, stuck with the formula each time. It wasn't enough to bring him into the top spot. But speaking of which, that first place right there, you see that Estonian flag, 83.33, Rumet Salik from Estonia.
I made for this sport, any sport. So I'm fucking blessed, Herbie.
I mean, go big or go home, and you are definitely going big in this competition.
There's no way around.
Congrats once again. Well done.
Thank you.
Well, shout out to Rumit Salik, who is going to be bringing home that 7,500 euro check right there, packing that into his carry-on on the plane, and proudly going to be bringing that back to Estonia. You see the number 1 on the podium. Well-deserved right there. What a cool moment and celebration after a wild year and a half, and bringing everybody back together at Extreme Barcelona. That is our winner at the Action Space Mega Ramp World's Best Trick for BMX, Rumit Salik from Estonia. Big ups and much respect. Wow, what a competition today. So cool. First time ever that we had our Mega Ramp event here at our Extreme Barcelona event. I hope that we do have it many more times in the future. It was a great addition, seeing our riders really getting into the vibe of the crowd, feeding off that energy and just sending tricks across that 40-foot gap. Again, look at the size of the ramp. Such a cool perspective to see that right next to our BMX park course as well. It kind of just gives you a vibe of how big the footprint is and also the height of that roll-in.
Daryl, I am back. I am victory dancing here as well because go Estonia. I'm so happy right now. I'm just going to say palju õnne Roomet in Estonian as well.
Well, big ups. Yes, I'm going to say congratulations to you, Tuli, and also Estonia, bringing that huge check back home. So cool. And also, let's not forget top honors Big
Absolutely.
riders, big tricks, and big checks out here.
I mean, everyone did so good. It was such an epic show. And everyone who's still on the line, there's going to be a scooter mega ramp competition after this one, so don't tune out just yet. Also, follow us at Urban World Series on Instagram for all the behind-scenes stuff. And in 2 weeks, you're going to be in Madrid. So there's going to be a lot of epic action sports coming up within the next days, weeks, you name it. And Daryl, thank you so much for joining me here today. It's a pleasure having you. You have so much knowledge on BMX. Obviously, you've been hosting pretty much all the biggest BMX events in the world. It's an honor to have you here with us, and thank you so much for all your input and insights.
Well, thank you, Tuli. The honor and pleasure is mine because Extreme Barcelona is one of the best events. I love the fact that we're growing each year, being a destination for all action sports, athletes, and fans. So I thank you for having me join you for the party out here.
Woo! There will be a party, definitely.
Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, 'cause you know that it's okay. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up. My foot is on your neck. Take my word for it. It's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life, 'cause you know that it's a bet. It's okay. You know I ain't letting up. My foot is on your neck. Take my word for it. It's a promise and a threat. I ain't never really want to flex my gifts, but I think it's my time. Let me check my wrist. You can never get my shine. I'ma keep on grinding till I reach the top. But it's just in my jeans and I ain't looking back 'cause I'm feeling like Chris Cross. They can never slow me down, but they need to hate me. Now I'm feeling like Chris. Rock with the team 'cause you know that we winning, we with it, we going, we flowing again. I might just go by a Benz. I might just blow my advance. Whoa, I did it all for the feeling. Alive, but I'm making a killing. I'm gonna break every ceiling 'cause I need a million, but I don't need your money. You can pay me in respect. 'Cause once I do it big, what's to follow is a check. I need 100 bags, nothing more, nothing less. And the ops feel away 'cause I'm next. I'm a threat. Oh yeah. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. I'm a gamble with your life 'cause you know that it's a bet. It's a bet. You know I ain't letting up. My foot is on your neck. Take my word for it. It's a promise and a threat. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in danger. I'm a threat. It's a gamble with your life 'cause you know that it's a bet. You know I ain't letting up. My foot is on your neck. Take my word for it. It's a promise and a threat. I ain't been feeling spectacular. Flow so sick, it's hazardous. Y'all still suck like Dracula. Zip this beat, let's back it up. And I don't care about critics 'cause they talk too much. And I know that I gotta keep on grinding, finding myself. I ain't gonna stop until I know I had enough. Mama, I made it. I know that they see me. I'm popping these bottles just like I'm a genie. I'm glad that you made me. It's all in my DNA. I'm up my chips like I'm working for Frito-Lay. And bet it bag on myself. I don't do it for my health. Every threat is a champion. Got the title, need a belt. I don't need your money. You can pay me in respect. Once I do it big, what's to follow is a check. I need 100 bags, nothing more, nothing less. And the ops feel away 'cause I'm next. I'm a threat. Oh yeah. Really, y'all don't know this, y'all in